Hey guys, what's up? So I have a little bit of a different kind of video here for you today. Um, this is a hobby that I don't really show many videos on. I may start doing that a little bit more, but I'm at least going to show you a few videos during this project. As you can see, this is a vintage Pioneer stereo. This is the model SX-780. I got this off eBay probably like 3 or 4 years ago when I started getting into vinyl and collecting vinyl, and I got my turntable, the Pioneer PL15, another vintage piece of audio equipment. And I don't really know much about electronics, just enough to get in trouble really, but I think it's really interesting, and I'm trying to learn a little bit more. So when this thing started acting up about a year or so ago, for the first year or two I had it, it was working perfectly. And then about a year ago, it started doing this weird problem where you'd be listening to the music, and all of a sudden the speakers would cut off. And I eventually found out it was the speaker protection, or the stereo protection circuit. It's got the little relay down here, and that would cut it off, but I don't know why it's cutting it off. And I decided finally to go ahead and take it apart, or take the cover off, and just kind of poke around and do a little research online and see if I could figure out how to get this thing working again, because it has gotten worse and I can't really listen to much music anymore without it just tripping that protection circuit. So I took the cover off yesterday, and I actually found out that it's only the left channel that's doing that, so that gives me a start, I guess, to try to figure out where this is going. I ordered a multimeter and a couple things, and I'm just gonna ease into this and see if I can try to figure out what's going on here. I don't think that too much work has been done on it. They look like the original capacitors in there. I'm thinking actually about doing a recap on it, but I have seen evidence that somebody has been in here, and the guy on eBay I bought it from, I think he said it had been serviced, but I don't know, it didn't have much details on there if I remember right. But it looks like at least one of the output transistors down here, that are on the underside of the board, has been removed and resoldered. I don't know if it was replaced or not. Maybe both of them, but at least this one over here. But other than that, it doesn't look like much has been done to it, so I'm just gonna kind of poke around a little bit when I get my multimeter, and do some research online so I don't screw anything up, and try to get this thing working again, because I really like this little receiver. I'm actually looking for a better amp too. I mean, I want to keep this one just because it was like the first stereo I had, and I like it a lot still. But I want to get a dedicated, like, integrated amp, so I'm kind of looking at getting a Pioneer SA9100, something like that maybe. Just something a little more powerful, a little more higher quality, But really, all these, vintage stereos are pretty damn good compared to, today's crap that we have. So today's project is remaking the cover for it. I want to make it out of real wood. So let me show you the wood I got for it. Here's the board I got for the sides. It's a cypress, a reclaimed cypress board that I bought off of Etsy, actually, where I sell my helmets. And I thought about doing some like red oak or poplar or pine, stuff like that you can get at the regular hardware stores, but I wanted something a little different. So I found this, and I think it's going to look really good because it's got some wicked cool grain in it. And I just have this sheet of, kind of cheap plywood for the top part of it. So this is what the old cover looks like. It's just got the wood veneer on it, and it's kind of just like cheap plywood, so I'm just going to try to recreate this, but using, nice wood, just as a, kind of fun woodworking project. So I'm going to be doing that. Alright guys, so I finally decided to stop and make a video of what I'm doing here. As you might be able to tell just by this top piece, I'm recreating the stereo cabinet for my Pioneer SX-780. So this is the top piece. It's just some like cheap plywood I got at Lowe's. And then these are what I'm really looking forward to. Just got done cutting these out and drilling holes. These are obviously the sides. And this is an old reclaimed cypress board that I bought. This is what the original board looked like here. There's the back side of it, and there's the side I'm using. So you can see it's got really wicked awesome grain in it. I've always liked cypress trees, and so I decided to go try to find some cypress, and I looked around for a while and actually found this board on Etsy where I sell my helmets. A guy in New York somewhere, I think the shop's called Lake Cartesians or something like that. They had this, and I think they said it was part of like an old wine barrel or something. It's got kind of a wine smell to it, but it fit really fit what I wanted pretty good, except for it was pretty thick. It's actually like an inch thick, and the sides are only like half an inch, or so thick. And so I had to split the wood, as you can see it. That's about how I split it there. And that was kind of a challenge because I don't have all the fancy woodworking tools and everything, but I managed to do it, and it looks pretty good. Actually, it turned out pretty good. This is the inside. It's a little bit rougher, as you can see, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to be using that on the outside. So got those cut out, and like I just said, I got this one cut out, and so now I've just got to kind of bevel out the edge of this opening so that I can put the vent grill, and it can be inset in the wood. So I got to figure out how to do that now, since I don't have a router either. So I'll do that, and I'll show you guys in a minute what it looks like. Alright guys, as you can see, I got the grill in there, and it's all flush, and it actually turned out pretty good. And I only scratched it one time over here, and it pretty much sanded out, so I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. Let me pop it out and show you what it looks like. So there you can see the nice bevel there all the way around. And all I did is took my X-Acto knife, put a ruler up, went over it, quite a few times, and then I took my little chisel here and just kind of carefully chiseled out that edge right there. And it worked pretty well because this is just plywood, and you can see the kind of 3 divisions there, so it just popped off that first layer, and just so happened to be the perfect height for this to sit right in there. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move on with the next part of the project here. Alright guys, so I got the stereo cabinet almost done here. Just working on staining it. As you can see, it's turning out pretty damn good so far. Just using this dark walnut stain here, mini wax that I got at Lowe's, so because I wanted it pretty dark, and I think it's turning out pretty good. So go ahead and wipe this off, and then once that dries, then I'm gonna put some semi-gloss polyurethane on there, and then I'm gonna be putting this heat grill back on the vent. And I'm thinking about painting it silver because I think that would look pretty cool, since obviously the front of the receiver is silver. So I haven't decided yet, but I'm thinking I will. So just wanted to make an update. So I got the tuner board all recapped. Used mostly the Nichicon fine gold capacitors. just because I've heard that Nichicon is pretty good, and they were the ones I found on Mauser. There's a few Elnas in there, the Elna Selmic 2s, and then a few of the Nichicon Muse, the KZs, but mostly the fine gold. So we'll see how it sounds. I'm getting ready to go ahead and recap the main board here, and so there's quite a few capacitors there. Got all the new ones laid out there. So I'm excited to see what this thing sounds like when I get done. I finally finished up the work on my Pioneer SX-780 receiver. I got the whole thing recapped. I replaced all the electrolytic capacitors in it, and also finished up the stereo cabinet here. It doesn't fit perfect, but I think it fits pretty well for what I was working with, hand tools and not much experience, and also this reclaimed board, which was a little warped anyways from the beginning, but it turned out good, and the grain looks really nice on it. And I did end up painting this grill silver. I think it matches the face a lot better than the black did. And I also fixed that problem that I was having with the left channel kicking out and the speaker protection relay coming on. I'm still not exactly sure what it was. I guess it was bad solder joints or something, because there were 3 transistors in a row kind of on this side of the board, and they looked like they had been getting a little hot, so I unsoldered them, desoldered them, and resoldered them on, and when I tested it out after that, I didn't have the problem, and I haven't had it since. I also cleaned all the controls with deoxit, so I guess that could have had something to do with it as well. Maybe the speaker controls here were really corroded or something, but either way, it's working now, so I'm pretty happy about that. And it sounds good with the new capacitors in it. To my ears, I can't really notice like a huge difference. Maybe some people could, but I still do think it sounds a little better. Maybe a little clearer separation between the channels, and maybe a little more volume and just overall clarity. So I just decided to make this last clip in the video just to kind of wrap things up and show you where I'm at. And glad to have this baby back again, because I really like listening to it. And I'll show you my turntable here real quick. Pioneer PL518. Haven't done anything to this except for put a new stylus on it. It's a G-Co stylus Pickering cartridge, XB15. It's the one that came on it when I got it off eBay. And here's one of the other projects I have. Haven't done anything to this thing except for mess around with it a little bit. Haven't had much time. It's just a Pioneer 1020L reel-to-reel. I think that's what the model is. I got crap on the way down here. Where is it at? Oh yeah, right there in the thing. Yeah, Pioneer RT 1020L reel-to-reel. So hopefully I can get that one working good. I mean, it works right now, but not perfectly, so I'm gonna keep working on that. But that's it for the Pioneer video. Maybe I'll have some more videos on vintage electronics sometime, and put them on YouTube and let you guys see them. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.